Yeah. Hello.
Whoa.
Welcome to BroDown.
Creme back industries.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Let's
going.
go. Oh, I'd like to go back. This ain't looking too nice.
This is what it looked like inside our apartment.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, another thing we didn't talk about our apartment is it was infested with roaches.
Yeah.
Not a fun time.
Yeah. And Evan and I both hate
deep
roaches.
fear of roaches.
Yeah. Like.
You should tell them the Lego story.
I don't want to tell them the Lego story.
You
right
want
now.
me to tell them the Lego story?
No. Let's save it for if we ever get more subscribers.
Be like, tell me the Lego story.
Yeah. And then I'll be like, oh, it's actually not that great of a story.
I feel like it's a pretty good story.
You think so?
I think so. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to tell it.
Alright. Basically, whenever I was like,
Those oil drugs.
yeah, nice.
Interesting.
Basically, whenever I was very young, like this is one of my earliest memories. So I used to be. My parents would take me over whenever I was like 3 or 4. After church, we discussed how our parents are like very religious before. And they would kind of like leave me with this woman whose name was Gloria, I want to say. But she was a nice woman. Like, not her fault that this went down this way. But they would just kind of like leave me there. Am I repeating myself?
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. Leave me there, like stay in babysitting. Like, she wouldn't come over to our house, she would leave me at her house.
God damn it!
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's
I'm
okay.
not sure if you've been keeping up visual. Oh, cool.
There you go.
It worked out.
Yeah. And I would just play there, and she had a son who was significantly older than me, and another one of my, like, church friends at the time. We were around the same age, and we would play together a lot whenever we were over there. But this is all kind of, like, aside from the point. The main point is that I found, like, a Lego, like, an old-school wooden box of Legos one time, and underneath, like, a bed in her house. And I was like, oh, shit, Legos. Fucking love Legos. And, like, took it into the living room and, like, opened it up. And it was just, like, completely full of roaches. Like, a massive throng, a swarm.
I've never heard someone say throng.
Yeah.
What is a throng?
It's, like...
A plethora of roaches?
Yeah, a throng, if I'm using the word correctly, which maybe I'm not, but it's basically like a horde.
Fuck.
You good?
I'm good.
Yeah. It's a lot. There were a lot of roaches. There was a lot. They just like poured out as soon as I opened it up, and I freaked the fuck out. And they got everywhere. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Are there any more details you would add to that?
Just the fact that would scar the fuck out of me if that happened.
Yeah.
I'm already terrified of roaches as is.
Yeah. And it was also irritating because, like, Gloria, whenever I told my parents about it, Gloria was like, he's exaggerating. There was, like, one roach. And I was like, I was also so young that, like, I don't know for sure if that was all in my imagination, but I feel, like, pretty vividly that it wasn't. Like, that there was just, like...
Oh, fuck, I hate this.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
It was a bad time.
I don't know what happened.
It's okay.
You can take over now. I've got another roach story.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds fucking awful. I'm so glad that didn't happen to me because I'm already deeply fucking terrified of roaches. Like, luckily, our apartment was infested with, like, tiny baby roaches. It wasn't, like, thick-ass big roaches.
Although we did run into a few of those.
Yeah, a few. From time to
Especially
time.
in my room for
Yeah,
some
Ethan's
reason.
room was fucked for
Yeah.
whatever reason. They just wanted to fuck him in the ass. Ethan's just got extra bad luck with roaches for whatever reason. But these, most of them were like the tiny little baby ones, which really sucks because you know they're never going away. They're stuck there forever.
Yeah.
But
Can't get rid of them.
at least they're not as disgusting, in my opinion.
Yeah. They're not as fast
Yeah.
most of the
Also,
time.
like whenever you step on like a big cockroach, it pops and it's like, and it's just
the like crunch of the wings
shocks through your body.
Yeah.
Oh god, dude, don't even get me started on like flying
shit.
roaches.
Yeah.
But sorry, okay. Now I can continue
Yeah,
the story. Anyways, so what I was gonna say is whenever me and Ethan were kids, I don't know, it's some freaky like paranormal shit I feel like or something. Like we lived in a one-story house at a time, and it was like one of those things that we were told that like an old lady used to live in that house and she died in that house, and like they didn't find her body for quite some time.
Yeah.
So also this house's like layout was creepy as fuck, and it was an old ass house, so it was just a creepy house in general. And anytime our parents didn't go on a ton of dates, they were usually there whenever, like someone was always there to look after us. But it was weird because like anytime they did actually go on a date, like roaches would just come out of nowhere and just follow us wherever we went. Like we'd go into a room and hide on top of a bed, and then they'd crawl through like underneath the door. Oh, that sucks. Don't worry about it. But they'd like we'd run away and they'd literally walk and follow us. It was fucking weird.
Yeah, it was weird. Very unpleasant.
Yeah, and it only happened when they were gone.
Yeah.
It was fucking weird.
What
I
the
have
fuck
no
was that?
explanation.
Shit.
Good job.
Thank you.
No explanation. Like I don't even remember seeing roaches there except for.
How do I get to that?
You gotta prep a roll jump or something. Yeah, but
Nice.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, like, do you remember seeing roaches in that house?
In which house?
In the one-story house?
Yeah,
On Wood
pretty
Forest?
frequently.
Huh. I only remember seeing them whenever.
But I mean, they did show up a lot more whenever mom and dad weren't around. Same thing with spiders.
Yeah.
I remember it happening a ton with spiders.
Dude, I'm not afraid of spiders, really. So maybe I was very young in the one-story house.
Yeah.
I was but a pup.
Yeah.
Like, we left that house when I was like 6. So.
I'm not super afraid of spiders, but certain ones get me. Like if they're above a certain size, I'm like, get the fuck away.
Yeah. Like a week ago before we left, Marcy was drinking on the back porch and she left some like lemons out there, and it was very late at You remember this story?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. It was very late at night, so the lights were out, so I went to go pick up the lemons to throw them away. So I didn't really look down, and there was a big motherfucking cockroach there, and I touched it with my bare hands!
Yeah. I heard that and I was like, oh no, heaven.
This has never happened to me before. I feel forever unclean, and it
God damn it.
it's just, I can't go on.
Yeah. Good job. That's a visual representation of how you felt.
Pretty much. I was just like,
Yeah. I also had several times in that apartment where, previous to living in this apartment, as far as I can remember, I never had a roach actually on me at any point that I was aware of.
Fuck.
But that happened a few times
Yeah,
in that
several
apartment.
times to me.
Yeah.
It would be, you say yours and then I'll say mine.
It's just, I don't really want to.
Okay,
Like,
I'll say mine.
Yeah.
Like, there were several times whenever I would like wake up and my back would itch, and then I would like scratch it and there would be like 2 roaches on my back or something like that.
No.
It was the fucking worst. And then you can't go back to sleep after having fucking roaches on you.
The worst is whenever you like see, like I remember the night before we moved actually, there was like a big ass, one of the biggest roaches I'd seen in my room in a long time, just like on that shelf that I was keeping my like dry food and stuff. Like after I'd been spending like a long ass day moving and shit, and I was ready to go to sleep. It was like, nah, bitch. I'm gonna be hanging out on your bookshelf and then I'm gonna get away. So you just wonder where I am while you try to sleep. Hope you have a good night.
The worst was for me, like in our old room, I had a couch that I would like play games on and stuff, and it was like my special area.
Yeah.
And I was playing a game, and there was a fucking roach on my neck.
Yeah.
On my neck!
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how it got there without me noticing it in the first place, but you don't get touched by a roach on your neck!
Yeah. What the fuck? Come on.
There are boundaries, roaches.
Yeah.
You guys should know.
It probably crawled like right off the wall onto your neck.
I thought I could kill him.
You were so close.
I wanted to kill him!
You were so close.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm a pretty boy.
Yeah. You were right there. Now we gotta do this again.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You were doing a good job. I'm sorry.
Thank you. It's alright.
It's just those orangutans especially piss me off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Traitor bitches. They should all die.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, those are the fuck. Oh, one last roach
Whoop,
story.
shit.
I'm sorry if you guys are getting tired of all these roach stories, but we've been severely traumatized and we want to tell you all about it. One time me and Ethan were just fucking chilling. Oh my god.
Yeah.
One time me and Ethan were just chilling, hanging out, doing whatever. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, watching porn together. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
What brothers do.
Normal well,
Getting smashed by beavers, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And just like the biggest fucking roach ever came out, like the size of like an iPhone 11.
Yeah. I saw it and I was like, what
I'm
the
not just
fuck
talking about.
is that?
I'm not talking about no regular iPhone 11. I'm talking about that, and I ain't talking about no iPhone 11 Pro. I'm talking about that iPhone 11 Pro Max
Jeez.
with an OtterBox.
Yeah, that's... And I feel like even that is underselling it a little bit. Like, I saw that and was like, that is a monstrosity.
Just, oh my god.
A demon has just crawled into my room.
Just had to perform an exorcism right there on the spot.
Yeah,
Also, it crawled into Ethan's shoe, so
Yeah,
it was
it
just
did.
like forever unclean for
Yeah.
that shoe.
yeah. Actually, I still have that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's those slippers.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But I had to wash the fuck out of those
Yeah.
slippers. And I really debated just throwing them away for a while.
Yeah.
Like, to give you an idea of how big this roach was, whenever it was in my shoe, it pretty much filled the shoe.
Yeah, I was like, this is my house now.
Yeah. It was like a hermit
Nah.
crab.
Nah, that's too generous saying that that makes it sound small. It's like, this is my PT Cruiser now.
Yeah. You know those, like, tiny little vans?
Yeah.
Like one of those.
What does that alligator do? Or
Just
crocodile?
psychs you out, I
Yeah.
guess.
Just there to make you nervous.
Yeah.
What's up now, bitch?
It's like, I'll just leave you behind.
Later, dude. Okay. Okay. Got any other dank cockroach stories, Ethan? Or is that it, pretty much?
I'm sure I have some more, but I try.
Turn around.
I do remember also there was one time whenever we were living in that same one story
No.
we were talking about.
No.
Just get behind it. Get behind
Ah.
it. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. But whenever we were living in that one store, I do remember a few times whenever I would get up for school and okay,
Nice.
good.
That was close.
I'd be running late or whatever, and I'd like throw my blankets off,
Yeah.
and I'd see roaches like crawl out from
Oh,
underneath the blankets
God.
and be like, I don't have time to process this right now. I'm late for school, but this is not cool.
Oh, fuck. That's so gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I luckily don't remember much of the one story stuff. I will say one thing, my worst experience with the one story is like the way our house was laid out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That hallway was so creepy.
yeah. It was like the most creepily lit hallway you could ever imagine. And also like whenever I was like deadly afraid as a child of like someone breaking in to the house. I wasn't really afraid of like boogeymen or something like that. I think I
Yeah.
was afraid of like
Just
genuine
breaking and entering and roaches.
yeah.
Yeah.
Real life stuff.
Yeah.
And like my room was like you open the door to the house like boom, room right there. Like
Yeah.
if someone was breaking in, my room was the first one they were going into, and I was like 5 years old, so I was dead.
Yeah.
And like to run to my parents' room like their room was at the very end of this hallway, and again, I was like 5, so I'm sure this hallway wasn't as long as it seemed. Good job.
Thank you.
This hallway wasn't as long as it seemed, but it felt like a fucking forever run. Like, I don't know what movie it is, but there's like that scene where it's like yeah, I got you. There's like a girl running for like a mirror, and it's like the hallway just keeps extending like further and further and further. Like, that's how it felt. Anytime.
Like an extreme Zolly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Every time I was like, "Rounded!" It was like I had to do a fucking full out sprint.
Yeah.
Do a marathon to get to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
If you guys got some Roach stories or some...
Put down some dank comments under the video.
Let us know what's up. Tell us about your stuff.
Yeah.
And how roaches have violated you.
Or if you like roaches for some reason, I guess.
You should
You know
not
what?
subscribe.
Don't comment because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, you're weird.
No, I'm kidding. If you do like them, I guess go ahead. I'm just not gonna be super jazzed about it, but I'm always open to different viewpoints, I guess.
You gotta explain it really well, though.
Yeah, like so
I
well.
don't know how you could possibly like roaches in any instance.
Just some dude's like, they're just hot!
dummy thick roaches!
Bye.
Sexy.